Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Christie. It's been a little while, but we're back to homework, back to regular homework after MEAs and all that. So this is HomeLink 6.5, and this is kind of a shorter version of what we did today with the partial quotients division and solving word problems. So, Mr. Atkins is organizing the 4th and 5th grade field trip to the Science Museum. He asked his students to help him figure out which students and teachers should go on each bus. The number of students in each class is shown in the table below. So Mr. Atkins' 4th grade class has 31 students. Ms. Smith's 4th grade class has 28 students. Mr. Bates' 5th grade class has 29 students. And Mrs. Gonzalez's 5th grade class has 27 students. Here's some more important information over here, and I know that because it says important information. 4 buses have been ordered. The maximum number of passengers is 30 per bus. Each bus must have 1 teacher. Alrighty then. So Carrie said he solved the problem this way. 115 divided by 4 is 28 with a remainder of 3. What do the numbers in his sentence mean? Okay, so what do you think the numbers in his sentence mean? 115. I wonder where he got that number. Well, if we were to solve this, just like we did with the oranges, the first thing we would do probably is add 31 plus 28 plus 29 plus 27. So let's do that. 31, wait, you probably can't see it over there. Wait, there we go. 31 plus 28 plus 29 plus 27. So 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 7 is 25. Put down the 5, carry the 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 3 is 11. All right, so when we add together all the students, we get a sum of 115. And look, that's the same as this number here. So therefore, 115 represents the number of students, period. So that's what 115 represents. Now let's look at the 4. What could the 4 mean? Well, we have 4 buses, so that's probably what the 4 means. So 4 represents the buses, the buses, or the number of buses. Okay. Number of buses. There we go. Period. All right. So, and we know that this line right here means divided by. So 115 divided by 4 is 28 with a remainder of 3. So let's see if that's accurate. Let's do the division ourselves and see if that is actually correct. So 115 divided by 4, well, I'm going to start with 20. 20 times 4 is 80. Subtract. We get 35. So 4 goes into 35 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then we add these together. 20 plus 8 is 28 with a remainder of 3. Okay, so 28 with a remainder of 3 represents the quotient when you divide 115 by 4, period. Okay. So now let's see which students and teachers should go on each bus and explain why. All right, well, we can't just say that Mr. Atkins' class will go on one bus and Miss Smith's class will go on another bus and Mr. Bates' class will go on another bus, because Mr. Atkins' class has 31 students. So, and the most amount of people that each bus can have is 30, and each bus must have one teacher. So, I'm going to just draw my buses. This is bus 1. This is bus 2, bus 3, and bus 4. Okay, so each teacher needs to go on a bus. So we're going to have Mr. Atkins is going to go on bus 1. Miss Smith is going to go on bus 2. Mr. Bates is going to go on bus 3. And Mrs. Gonzalez is going to go on bus 4. Okay, so we have 2 4th grade classes and 2 5th grade classes. So how about if Mr. Bates can just have, or Mrs. Gonzalez can just have her class. So Mrs. Gonzalez with her 27 students. So that means she has all her kids. And she's only got 28 kids altogether on this bus, 28 people. So they have room for 2 more. Mr. Bates, well, he's just going to have his whole class too. His 29 students. Mrs. Smith is going to have her 28 students plus she can have one of Mr. Atkins' students, but then we can't just put one 4th grader with the 5th graders, right? That wouldn't be good. So maybe what if we did this? What if we took half of Mrs. Smith's class, which would be 14, and put them with half of Mr. Bates's class. So that would be 14 kids with Mr. Bates's class for Mrs. Smith. And then we have room for more than half of Mr. Bates's class himself, plus Mr. Bates. So that would make 30. Then we have the other half over here with Mrs. Atkins' class. That would make 30 there. And then we have the other half of Mr. Atkins' class, which is 16, plus Mr. Smith.